What's up, everyone? Welcome back, or welcome. This is your first visit. My name is Matt. On this channel, I review brand new cars. Today, I'm at Gettel of Lakewood, Florida, with this brand new 2026 Genesis GV80 Coupe. And today, I'm going to take you the complete tour of this vehicle. We're going to check it out. Exterior, interior, technology, of course, the test drive. We're going to try to answer the question whether this vehicle is better than the BMW X6 or the Mercedes-Benz GLE Coupe. If you like watching videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, and now let's get back to this. The GV80 Coupe is the newest addition to the brand's lineup, and I've already done one when they first came out. Now, this one has a different powertrain, and there are a few differences between the 2025 and 2026 model year. But before we get to the differences in the powertrain, let's start with the exterior design. Well, this being the flagship SUV, one of the most expensive in the brand, let's take a look and see what we have. First of all, I like the color of it. They call it the Bering blue. It is a very subtle blue with gray color. I'm not sure if this angle does it justice, but you'll see more of it on the side of this vehicle. In the front end design, we have the double stacked lights, all LEDs, of course, and then they're very nice and bright. That's so typical to the Genesis brand. Down at the bottom, more aggressive styling with the curtains right there at the bottom. They're all functional. It's all about aerodynamics and also the looks, because it looks fantastic too. Now, the grille is in the shape of a crest, and we have this dark chrome in it. And the bottom of it is kind of finished with a shiny black. We have the front-facing camera and this Genesis logo right on top of this grille over here, which is making waves in form of this indent in the middle of the hood. Speaking of which, let's pop this open. Let's see what's underneath it. And the first GV80 that I've done had a twin turbocharged V6 with 375 horsepower. Now, this adds an electric supercharger to the twin turbocharged V6. And now it produces 409 horsepower and 405 pound-feet of torque. Still made it to an 8-speed automatic transmission, and we have an all-wheel drive. What's interesting that, normally you either have the vehicle that's turbocharged or supercharged, and rarely it is a combination of both. Now, the Genesis has done the 48-volt electric supercharger, which means it's not connected to the crankshaft of the engine with the belts and pulleys. Rather, it's powered by electricity, but it gives you that extra boost for a better performance. We're definitely going to check that out at the end of this video during our test drive. Let's see what else we have. So we have two hood struts, one on each side with some sound insulation. Overall, a good-looking engine bay design. And good looking is the name of the game. But before we get any further, let's talk about the dimensions of this vehicle. We have the width of 77.8, wheelbase 116.3. The total length of this vehicle sits at 195.5, and we have the height of 67.3 inches. Let's take a closer look and see what's going on as far as the wheel and tire design. Love this wheel design. It is a dual color. We have the polished aluminum and kind of this gunpowder metallic with the large brake calipers and rotors. We have the adaptive dampers, but it is not a truly air suspension. Everything around the wheels is covered in the same color as the rest of this vehicle. And here at the bottom, you'll see some the shiny black, also this dark chrome trim. Now, if we scroll up here in this trim, so typical to the Genesis brand, especially the GV80s and the G80s, we have the turn signals right here. We also have the fully loaded mirror with a side view camera, the dual color of it, blind spot assist, everything around the windows we have is in this dark chrome as well. And we have the proximity entry system on all four doors, including the rear ones right here. The door gas tank is on the driver's side, and as far as the gas mileage, we have a combined gas mileage of about 19 miles per gallon. Let's move over to the backside of it. Very luxurious and sporty looking back end. And here, let's take a look. Starting right on top of here, we have this indent right in the middle for better aerodynamics. We have the third brake light right there. We also have the built-in camera. This is for your digital mirror and the sloping glass. Now, just keep this in mind. It does not have the rear wiper. Let me show you something right on the side here. It almost has kind of this ducktail spoiler built in, again, for better aerodynamics. Looking really good, especially from this angle right here. And of course, those double stacked lights, they're all LEDs as well. You can see the turn signals blinking. We have the four-wheel drive Genesis spelled out right there in the middle, the rear view camera, and there's a button on top of it to push in case you want to open the rear hatch, which we're going to do in just a little bit. But I want to also show you the very bottom portion of it. Very nice and aggressive. We have the reflector lights. We also have those built-in exhaust, dual exhaust on each side. This is real. This is not just a fake exhaust. And then we have the reverse lights. Now, if equipped with a tow hitch, the Genesis GV80 Coupe can tow up to 6,000 pounds. Well, let's pop this gate open and let's see how much room we have on the interior. As I mentioned, there are several different ways of opening this. One is to use this brand new remote. This is the new style Genesis remote. We have the Genesis logo on one side, kind of this diamond shape. And on the one side of this remote, we have the unlock lock hold to open the gate, which we're going to do right now. We also have the hold for the panic button. On the other side, we have hold to start the vehicle as well as to pull in or out of the parking spot. Now, this is a brand new vehicle, so it's got some goodies, of course, that come with it as far in form of the options. But let's take a look overall at the space that we have right behind this second row seat. Now, it's about 30 cubic feet of room, which is okay. It's not the greatest, but if you don't need tons of room, then you don't need any more than this. Now, there's more if you opt in for the GV80 SUV versus the Coupe, and especially as far as the practicality on it. As you can see over here, you have very little room. So maybe you can put maybe 2 large suitcases and 1 carry-on, something like this. Nothing crazy. So if you don't need tons of space, then you don't need more room than that. Let's see if there's anything right underneath here. I'm pretty sure there's no spare tire. No spare tire, because that's where the batteries sit. And then we also have this fix-a-flat, kind of the compressor that comes with this vehicle. Right here in the back, you have these trim pieces to help you from scratching that plastic underneath here. And then you can also fold down the seats by pushing the buttons. Okay, the power seat. We have the 12-volt power outlet right here, and let's check this out. That opens up to about 62 cubic feet of total storage space inside of this vehicle, which is not bad. But let me jump inside. I'll show you the rest of this interior. Now, let me see if I can fit behind that front seat that's adjustment to my regular driving position. I am 6 feet tall, and there's a concern for a lot of people, especially in the coupe SUVs, whether there's going to be enough headroom. And there is. There's probably about 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches above my head. I feel really comfortable as far as the shoulder room, and I fit behind the seat. Now, I can easily move the seat a little bit forward. I like to drive very comfortably, but hey, you know, I'm not very selfish. I can share the space and move it about 1 inch, still be comfortable in the front there. Let me show you what else is going on the interior. So one of the new features for 2026 model year, which we didn't have in 2025, is this rear manual sunshade. And that's a plus in my book. It's looking really good. It's very practical as well. Now, as far as the finishes on the rear door panel, this is all nice and soft. Leather wrapping all around it. We have this 3D looking trim, like the carbon fiber, very nice contrast stitching. We also have a Bang & Olufsen stereo, total of 18 speakers, about 1400 watt stereo, very nice and powerful. Scrolling down, we have more storage at the bottom of the door and another speaker there as well. Now, the GV80 Coupe comes with the power seats in the back as well. So here's how you do it. So you want to push the button. If you want to fall down the seat, then does it automatically. You can do that with one push of a button, and it does the opposite as well. We can also adjust the individual controls with it as well. See, once you push it, it just stops everything that it's doing. All right, so while it's doing that, let's take a look and see what's going on in the seat backs. Now, this is all plastic. Very smart decision, in my opinion. Easy to clean. Okay, we have more storage, and the rear passengers have their own climate control settings. Now, we not only have the heated but also ventilated seats right here in the back, the regular household power outlet, 2 USB ports, and you have the ability to move the passenger seat by using these 2 buttons without having to go up front or asking somebody to move. Just do it for them, right? I like these red seat belts. We also have the Napa leather covered seats, nicely quilted, perforated in the middle. We have some tubing, we have some contrast stitching, and right here in the middle we also have this console that opens up with the cup holders and an additional space storage if you needed such as well. So very nice, very luxurious looking. Oh, and up on top we have this micro suede headliner and this large panoramic sunroof. Now let's take a look at the inside, but before we do that, a couple of things that I want to point out too. Like right around in this wheel wells, we have this felt lining for that better sound dampening, sound insulation. Also, what Genesis has is they have the soft closing door. As you can see, they pull in automatically. So that's a part of standard equipment on that GV80 Coupe. Let's listen how the doors sound. Boom. Absolutely fantastic. We're going to try to do it again from the inside, but let's take a look and see what's going on here. So very similar setup as in the back. Of course, we have an addition of 2 memory seat settings, window, mirror, lock controls. Down at the bottom, more storage, another speaker. Very good looking as far as the design of it. And here are the seats right here in the front. So you have this Napa leather seats, nicely perforated, a lot more bolstered than the back seats, of course. And we have the multitude of adjustments right here at the bottom, including this electric tie support, which you'll find on the BMW and Mercedes, but most of them are manual on those. Now we have the lumbar support as well as this ergo motion massage feature. And yes, these are not white, this is actually sticker. They're aluminum and rubber pedals. Very nice and sporty. Left hand side of the steering wheel, this is where you open that rear hatch. Electronic parking brake. We have the dimmer. You have the downhill assist, and you can turn off that stability control or traction control on the car. You have the tilt and telescoping as far as the steering wheel. Let me jump inside. I'll show you what else is going on there. And of course, start with the sound of the closing door from the inside. Boom. Library, quiet. Almost instantly, you can hear nothing. All right, so here's the interior of this 2026 Genesis GV80 Coupe. Let's get this started. Actually, the push button start, of course, on the right hand side. All right, we'll get to the screens and the functionality, but I want to start right here at the top of it. So we have a head-up display, a large head-up display with adjustments. You can select what's displayed or not. Of course, we have a bunch of speakers, total of 18 of them, and then nicely leather wrapped dashboard. I'm not sure if this is real leather or not, but it looks like one. And we have the same trim as we've seen on the door down here at the bottom. Some vents nicely connected, making into like almost one piece. Now, as far as the steering wheel, love it. Flat bottom steering wheel, Genesis logo, some red stitching. We have the pedal shifters in the back, have the cruise control. You can adjust the gap between you and the car in front of you. You have the lane keep assist, and then we can select several different options. What's going on right here in the instrument cluster. Now on the right hand side, you have the start button. That's customizable. You can adjust what's going on as far as the presets on and the radio volume control, mute, phone, and then we can do some adjustments in terms of the buttons over here. So let's take a look and see what's going on right in the instrument cluster. First of all, this is a 27-inch screen, a large screen, seamless connection, right? There's no gaps right in between the two screens. They're nicely connected, and display very vivid, very bright. This is the OLED display, so this is the highest quality display. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, so press and hold OK to hide cluster, and then moving left and right will change the song station, if not browsing widgets. So now that's what is going on the right hand side. This is what I'm doing here. What's going on and on this side is controlled on the left hand side. Okay, so now we have the navigation that's put in, and I know we have other options as far as that. So lane keep assistance, last reset, it says 5.2 miles per gallon. Of course, that's not correct because the vehicle has been idling for the most time. Interestingly enough, my phone disconnected me because I was trying to connect to Genesis, which was programmed in my phone prior to that. But I dismissed that widget on the right hand side, and now we have more of a traditional display, which is tachometer on the right hand side, speedometer on the left hand side. 54 miles to empty, 61 degrees outside, 22 miles on the odometer. Really good looking one. Let's move on and see what's going on here. So this is the new Genesis system. We've seen it for the last few years. Map again. Now look at this, how seamless it is, this whole map through the entire screen. Let's go back. Destination, phone projection. Of course, we have the Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, that's wireless. And here we have the setup function here for the vehicle, navigation, sound, device connections, vehicle voice recognition, etc. I want to see the sound in here. So we have the premium sound, surround, speed dependent volume control. Okay, so Bang & Olufsen, we have the Biosonic. Allows you to easily adjust the sound to your preference, move the marker to adjust the tone, bright, warm, relaxed, energetic, position, guidance, etc. So we can get out of here, device connections, voice recognition, screen, theme, layout. Okay, that can be adjusted too, so we can have the black background if you prefer that. That's actually pretty cool looking one, but you know, the black one does reflect a lot of me in here, so I think I'd prefer the white background in here. And then you can select the graphic themes. They have the automatic or map theme as far as classic map or neon map. Not sure what that is. I guess we're going to check it out when the map comes on. So let's go back to the screen display, illumination, blue light filter. You can apply that, you know, to not to get your eyes really tired from all this screen. Buttons, touchpad. Okay, these are custom buttons that you can adjust. There's one by the radio, by the steering wheel, another one on the steering wheel, mode button, navigation, etc. Each of those buttons that are listed here can be programmed to the functions that you can assign to them. So Wi-Fi hotspot, you can of course set this up, general settings as well. And this is a 3D setup right here. I hit on that. It shows the vehicle, see inside lights. As far as the lights, it allows you to change the different functions on the lights, which is here ambient lighting is actually up on top. So it's dimmed and dark, color, aquamarine, white. Let's see if we're going to go to the Garnet red and see if this is going to be visible here. Just the brightness all the way to the max. You can see some of this. You can see it's reflecting on my finger over here, the red light. Okay, so I'm sure it looks really cool at night. You can also see that around the cup holders. And yeah, so I mean, it's got to be looking pretty cool, especially at night. There's also some in the back as well. So here's your ambient lighting. And then let's go back. Driver assistance, 360 view, see inside this vehicle, boom, vehicle settings, head-up display, cluster, climate, seat. You know, we have the ability to have this ergo motion seat, comfortable stretch, smart posture assist. You can set these up, comfortable stretch, intensity, high, session length, long 20 minutes. You can adjust that as well. And how do you start this? I'm going to do this moderate, and then I'm going to hit this ergo motion. There you go, comfortable stretch. I hit that button on the side of the seat here, and now it's going. Okay, so it's massaging me as I'm talking to you. Cluster, we can change different cluster themes in here. So now we have the theme A, B, C, and D, depending on what you like the most. And let's go back here, illumination. So this is reset automatically, head-up display, and then go outside the vehicle. So pretty cool, right? As far as the radio, I know we can't really play the music, but it has what they call the sounds of nature. So we can actually listen to this stereo. Right now it's at lively forest, and let's adjust the volume. And very nice, very deep sound with a lot of like surround option in here. Climate control, we can set it up through here. You can set it up through the screen at the bottom as well. You can sync it, unsync it. Now, what do we have? So this is the front climate control, the rear climate control. We have the single zone and the back 2 zones. In the front, that shows you outside what the temperature is on. You can sync it, unsync it. One other thing that I want to show also is, of course, this rear view camera. And that's really nice. Very good quality as far as the quality of the camera. This is the rear camera, of course, with the trajectory lines that also show up on top. We have this 360 view of this vehicle. It doesn't have the front view camera showing, but I believe we can do that once I put it in front. So yeah, this is all widescreen in the front, and then you can adjust some settings as far as the guidelines, the trajectory lines on the camera. Okay, let's put it in park. Let's move on and let's see what else is going on here. So this is another screen. This is basically your climate control screen, so you don't have to go through the main screen to get to it. And this is fairly simply explanatory, right? Self-explanatory. Temperature right here, it shows up right next to it. Heated, ventilated seats, different vent positioning, and you know, whether it's blowing air or not. Okay, we have the fragrance in here. We don't have this pod installed, but you can install the pods. Kind of like on Mercedes, BMW, you can have some nice fragrance inside of this vehicle. Buttons, map, navigation, radio, media, seek, track, setup, and custom button, tune, volume, and power. This opens up. We have the charging pad over here, 2 USB Type-C ports, 12-volt power outlet, and then we have some shortcuts here as well, because this is another way to control this screen. So you can do it. Basically, this is just for the stereo, I believe. Yep, this is what we had going before, but we lower the media here, mute it, and then you can control it, of course, via a touch, as I did before, or you can control it through this knob over here. Home, takes you to the main screen, back menu button. So fairly self-explanatory. If you get lost, just hit the home button and you're there. You have the fingerprint reader, so you can save all your settings in your profile. Auto hold for your brakes, and this is that Genesis way of switching gears. So here is your reverse, neutral, and drive, depending on which direction you want to go. Push park to park this vehicle, of course, and now we have the drive modes. So here's another new feature on this Genesis. It's an addition of the terrain modes. So we have the drive or terrain mode. So as far as the drive, we have the Eco, Comfort, Sport, Sport Plus, and My Drive. And then you push that, goes to the terrain mode, snow, mud, and sand. So those are the different driving modes that are available. The terrain mode was not available in the last year's model. Now we have the parking camera, and you have the ability to turn off that auto start stop feature. Push the button to open this tiny little storage here in this console. Okay. And then you of course have the regular size glove box down below. Moving up on top, we have this digital mirror camera. And this is very useful, especially with a vehicle that has the sloping roofline, because this is what you see without it. And we have the home link system down here at the bottom. I need to move back to this instrument cluster because I almost forgot to show you one of my favorite features of this Genesis. It's this video blind spot assist. Whichever direction you turn that turn signal, and it's whether you're stopping or driving, you can see what's going on. So there's really a good safety feature for those of you who don't like to turn around. Now I still do, even though if I would have it, I'd still turn around just to make sure. Okay, sunglasses holder, and then we have the LED lights. You have the ability, of course, to open this panoramic sunroof, one touch operation. Ooh, nice and bright. There's some windscreen here. Let's close this off, and then inside or on top of the visors, you have the mirror with the illumination. This is it, guys. This is the interior of this 2026 Genesis GV80 Coupe. What's up pricing? Take it for a spin. Before we talk about pricing, let's kind of touch one more time what's changed for 2026 model year. So you have this new terrain mode. We have this rear manual sunshade that I don't believe was here in 2025. This digital key feature that we've had for Genesis for 2025 that allows you to lock or unlock your vehicle with your phone. Now also work for the rear doors, which it hasn't before. And I think the biggest change for 2026 is an addition of a new trim, which is not this one. There's a trim that sits on top of this that's called the Prestige Blackout trim. And it basically blacks out all the trims around the vehicle. There's no chrome. There's only like black trims, like the calipers, the grille, the wheels, the bezels for the speakers. Looks really, really good. And it's only available in either white or black color. It comes at a price though too. So let's touch on this pricing. The base Genesis GV80 Coupe starts at $81,850. That's about $1,900 more than the previous model year. The one that I'm sitting in right now starting at $87,650, and the Prestige Black starts at $89,400. So we're talking about $2,000 jump from this to the Prestige Black. These top two trims are equipped with the electric supercharged motor. The base one is just a twin turbocharged V6 with 375 horsepower. But look at the jump. There's $6,000 jump between the regular Genesis GV80 Coupe and the supercharged. Yeah, we have, smaller wheels and maybe not as luxurious features, but overall nice vehicle too. So if you don't want to drop this kind of money, you can definitely go for the base one, as we call it. Now, let's talk about this for a second, because this is really not only getting with the luxury and features into the German car, luxury car category, but it's also coming in at the very high price. It used to be where Genesis used to deliver the same or more for less. Well, that's no longer the case, because the GLE Coupe, even fully loaded, we're talking about the 450. Of course, we're not going to go to the 53 or 63, but the 450 with the 6-cylinder engine, that one can top off. I think I loaded it up on the website, and that was just about $93,000. But I've added pretty much everything to this vehicle. And then the BMW X6 topped off under $90,000. Now, we're not talking about the M series, just the X6 with the inline 6 in it. So did Genesis earn the right to price their vehicles at the point where they're pricing it right now? And what I mean by that, we're talking about the brands like Mercedes, BMW. Some people throw in a Porsche in the same category, that spend years upon years of establishing themselves in the luxury market, and kind of earn that right to price their vehicle accordingly because of the brand that they are. Genesis is a brand that's very new to the automotive market, and that's about 10 years old when Genesis was established as a separate brand, right? There was a trim of a Hyundai vehicle before. Now, I don't want to take anything away from the Genesis as a brand because they make fantastic vehicles. I really do believe that this is one of the coolest looking cars on the road. I don't think it's looking any worse than the BMW or Mercedes. It's got all of the technology inside of it that you need. It's got the best warranty on the market, 5 years, 60, and then the 10-year, 100,000 miles on the powertrain. Nobody comes close to that. And, you know, a lot of those gadgets are standard on this vehicle. It would be nice, though, if they were still about 10 grand cheaper than the competition. Now, I get it. You know, stuff is expensive. You know, I'm not denying that. I mean, the Civics, where I was in the business back in, and there you go, I'm aging myself, but 96, 97, we had Civics that were under $10,000. And now, you know, they started at 20 and go to almost $40,000 on the Civic. So spending $90,000 on a luxury vehicle is probably not that bad. Now, let me know what you think about it, because I really want to hear your thoughts in the comment section of would you pay this money for the Genesis, or would you rather go with Mercedes, BMW, maybe even a Cayenne, which is, by the way, more expensive. Let's take it for a quick spin. Let's see how this vehicle accelerates. I'm really curious because I've done one without the E-Supercharger. It's merging into traffic here. Super smooth. Now, turbos got some lag. Normally, supercharger, the mechanical supercharger is tied to the engine crankshaft via pulleys or belts, so it operates at the same RPMs. Now, this being the electric superchargers, it doesn't rely on the engine speed. It can have its own speed that's powered by electricity, and it can spin up to like 120,000 rotations per minute, so RPMs, right? Move on to this turn right here. Oh, here. Am I in a sport, like a super sport mode? It also kind of stiffens up this vehicle a little bit. Now, like I mentioned before, it does not have like a true air suspension. It's have the adaptive dampers in the suspension. We're going to check that out in a minute. I want to turn it around and see that body roll, because that's important, like especially if you're looking at the sportier SUV. I'm going to stop right here for just a quick second, and we're at 0. Let's hit it. Very nice. Yeah, no issues here as far as the acceleration. It's pretty cool. Once I hit that brake, you kind of have this rev matching that you can hear from the engine. It's interesting. I'll switch it to the regular sport mode or comfort mode. Comfort mode makes it quiet. You don't hear the engine as much as this. So, you know, comparing it to an X6, let's say the X6 is definitely more athletic. It's a stiffer vehicle. It doesn't have as much of a body roll. It's definitely a sportier feel than I have in this Genesis GV80 Coupe. The Mercedes is kind of like in between. It can be softer when needed, and it can be aggressive when not, but I still find the Mercedes driving dynamics a little bit nicer than on this GV80 Coupe. But again, this is nice, especially as being the newcomer to the luxury market. I think, you know, just like with everything else, some good competition always does it justice. And, you know, I think that now Mercedes, BMW, also an Audi. Audi is another one that I didn't mention. But they need something to shake them up a little bit. They can't be the only kids on the block, right? Very quiet inside the cabin, too. Like kind of like for the sporty SUV coupe, I would like to hear more of that engine growl. But that's me, and like to be a little bit stiffer. Overall, nice. I don't know if I would pay that money for a Genesis or go with the X6 or GLE? Let me know what you guys would do. I'd like to keep this conversation going in the comment section. So don't forget to put the comment in, like this video if there's anything that you liked about it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more automotive content. I'll see you in my next video. Cheers.